what is the impact of Hollywood on Australian film industry?
The quality of light seems to be great in Queensland.
There is an ozone hole right at the top of Australian region.
But I will get burnt 10 minutes in the sun in Australia.
Basic folk music of Australia.
Well, we have a very diverse range of music within Australia. Right?
What basic things do our students they need to know?
People who are excited to learn are the people it's easier to teach.
Right.
So if you're excited about this industry like I am, come along, because I can work with you and help you improve your own banker skills and lead to something more.
Your workshop would be equally beneficial to them as well.
Film something and then show it back to me. I'd be very happy to provide any feedback to any product that any students produce.
One common passion between Australia and Pakistan is cricket.
Is it?
Keiran, what do you think about Pakistani cinema? Have you ever seen anything from Pakistani cinema? Hello everyone. और दिनों तक आज हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में एक ऑस्ट्रेलिया से आए हुए बहुत ही बड़े फिल्म मेकर और बहुत बड़े टीचर पॉडक्ट हैं. इनका नाम कैरन है और इनका ताल्लुक ऑस्ट्रेलिया क्वींसलैंड से. कैरन का 28 साल का तजर्बा है और कैरन ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ना सिर्फ के फिल्म मेकिंग सिखाते हैं मल्टीपल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में, कैरन का इसके साथ साथ थिएटर और एक्टिंग का भी बहुत ही वास्ट तजर्बा है. सो पाकिस्तान पहली बार इनका विजिट हुआ एंड फीफा पाकिस्तान इज़ वेरी प्राउड एंड वी आर वेरी हम्बल and at the same time we are very excited to host Keiran here in a pair.
Thank you.
How are we doing, Keiran?
It's been a challenge arriving in Lahore, but it's been good. I've been.
What sort of a challenge are you feeling? Since now we have this air quality index, it's going down.
Well, I was told that you got a bit of rain before I cleaned it out, so maybe I'm hoping for a bit of rain to clean it out.
All right. So, Keiran, how was this experience to fly from one continent to another continent and landing here in Lahore?
All right, well, I've never been to Pakistan before, so the exciting part is actually to visit a new culture in Pakistan. The travel itself is horrid because Australia is so far away from every other place on the planet that it just takes a long time to get. The travelling part's not the good part. Arriving here is the good part, and experiencing everything that Pakistan has to offer.
So it's your second day in Lahore, I guess?
Yeah.
All right. So, Keiran, first I would like you to discuss it. What do you think? What is the difference between a stage performance, a theatre performance, and a camera performance with the acting's point of view?
So, look, the only thing that you need to remember about acting and performing on stage or screen is that your performance should always be a size that is appropriate to the audience. If you're acting in a big stage or even a big arena, then there's going to be people that are a long, long way away from you. So your performance has to be big enough that they can see you clearly. Now, when you are performing in a smaller space, it's more intimate, then you reduce the size of that performance because everyone in the audience can actually see you clearly.
So are you referring to volume of your dialogue delivery as well?
Not just volume, right? So it's the size of your physical performance.
Oh.
It needs to actually match that. It's no good if they can hear you clearly but don't see what you're doing, because 67% of the communication process is non-verbal. So it's not necessarily about the things that we hear, it's about the things that we see that communicate twice as much as the words that you're delivering.
So does that mean that when you've said that 67% communication is non-verbal,
yes,
does that mean that without uttering a single word, you can get someone understand 67% of what you want to communicate?
Well, that is the challenge of the actor in conjunction with the director. The director's job is the director takes the position of the audience so that he or she can actually judge whether the audience is going to understand the performance of the actor. And so together with the actor and the director, you're able to actually create a performance that is understood in the manner in which it's intended to actually be understood.
All right, Keiran, in your point of view, what do you think is a masterpiece? A piece of art that is applauded by a large number of audience, or a piece of art that is applauded by the intellectuals of that field?
All right, so there's always a big debate, and it's been going on for absolute centuries, that there is a divide between art and commercialism.
Commercialism.
Right? So, there's entertainment versus art. Now, it's not necessarily that those two things are mutually exclusive. The aim of the production is to make them inclusive so that you can have a piece of art that is also entertaining. It's not necessarily that you need to actually make sure that you adhere to both of those results, but I think in most cases you want to create a piece of art because it's the art form that speaks to the souls of people and changes people's ways of thinking. And that's what you're trying to do most of the time with a production, whether it be stage production or film. But also, it's very important that you're not just making things that look good. You need to actually make things that are commercially viable. If they're not commercially viable,
How can you survive?
how can you make the next project and the next project?
Right.
So there's got to be a consideration, and like sometimes you might want to make a more artistic piece at the beginning of your career to show people and show other production companies and financiers, etc., what you're capable of doing,
Right.
to get the bigger production, which then tries to meld that commercialism, the commercial viability of the projects into the art form itself.
Very right, very right. So I was surprised to know that this debate is not only here in Asia, that this is a global debate everywhere in this world.
They were having this debate in ancient Greece when they started performing on stage as well. So it's never going to resolve itself. The debate will always continue, and the debate will continue to evolve as we see new media. Like the debate came when when we started making film, and then it came when we started introducing television. Nowadays we've got a filmmaking device that's built into your telephone.
Yeah.
You can shoot a whole film on your telephone. And you can watch it on your telephone. You can watch it on a computer. And those debates will continue. I don't think that, I think they're healthy debates. We don't need an answer. We just need to evolve the product to suit the audience's expectations of those media.
All right, Keiran, I would like to ask, what is the impact of Hollywood on Australian film industry?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I think Hollywood is more or less held as the standard. But I think what you need to remember about Hollywood is extremely good at being a business first. Hollywood makes films.
Right.
But Hollywood makes films as a vehicle for making money. So the commerciality of Hollywood is probably an ideal to hold to. It's not necessarily that they're making better artistic pieces, because there's fantastic art around the entire world, and there's some fantastic artists that are making great films or even stage productions. So when we say about Hollywood has a greater impact because they're held as a standard in some ways in terms of filmmaking, but we're seeing artistic quality match and sometimes exceed that of Hollywood. But what Hollywood is fantastic at is making money as part of that. And I still see Hollywood as the gold standard in terms of how to make films that are commercially viable.
All right, as we were having the discussion earlier, off-camera discussion, you were telling me that Australia, since it's a big land, right? And I would say it's a big uninterrupted land, a piece of land. The anthropogenic invasion is, I think, very less because you have a lesser population there in Australia.
A very small population. We'll probably have more people in the Greater Lahore area than we do in the entire country.
So how do you see people coming from different countries in Australia and having their video shoots, having their, using your spaces as their sets? How do you see that? Does that have an impact on your, money-making thing?
Well, it certainly can have an impact. There are large movies that get filmed
In Australia.
in Australia and even in Queensland, where I'm from, and they are big blockbuster films. They're $100 million budget sort of type of films. Now, obviously, when they negotiate the ability to film within our country, they negotiate with the various government bodies, which will ensure that the various populations of the areas that they're shooting in are employed as part of that filmmaking process. Now, that will directly introduce money into the economy, which is exactly what the governments are actually enticing and providing incentives for foreign films to come and shoot in Australia. I think the reason that they like to come to Australia, and this is something that, the whole reason that, going back into America, like most of the art, certainly in terms of stage production, was based on the East Coast of America, not the West Coast in California. The whole reason that they went to California and Hollywood in the first place was because of the quality of the light. And that's very valuable in terms of filmmaking. Now, they've got a far bigger population now, and they've got lots of pollution, etc., and the quality of light in California is not as good as it used to be. The quality of light seems to be great in Queensland. It's almost a direct match to what California had originally when they set up Hollywood on the West Coast of America in the first place. So it's the quality of light that entices, filmmakers to make films where I'm from in Queensland, and then we just have to create the infrastructure to handle the volume of those sort of international films. But all of those films will add a great deal of money to the local economy.
Yeah. That's a very good thing. I've heard that there is an ozone hole right at the top of Australian region.
What I can say is that I've gone to lots of places around the world, and I can lie on a beach in Spain all day long and not get burnt, right? But I will get burnt 10 minutes in the sun in Australia.
Okay.
Right, so obviously there's something there, but to terraform a new planet, all you need is pollution, and you'll create an atmosphere. So maybe it's because our quality of air is a little bit better.
All right, Ken, how do you see the music? Music is one of the most important things in productions, in art, and it's the purest form of art. I would like to know about basic folk music of Australia.
Well, we have a very diverse range of music within Australia, correct? I think that's the first thing that you need to understand. Australia was a colony of England, and so a lot of our culture is drawn from the English culture, but certainly since particularly in the last 50 to 60 years, a massive influx of people from all around the world. So we have a very, very diverse culture. Now, we like to embrace other cultures into our own, and we like to celebrate that. So music is just part of that. And we have whilst our population is small, the communities within our population are also small, but we like to celebrate that, and we like to hear different music from different nationalities, and be allowed to claim that as Australian because they are Australian, even if their influences are from somewhere else. The platforms for releasing that sort of music are small in Australia because we don't have many people to, generate income that large, populations can. That's the only thing. Yeah. But I think it's important. Like we've embraced that. We hear a lot of different influences in our music. Our folk music is from an Australian folk music point of view. It's quite strong, but we have so many different varieties of music, from pop and from rock and even classical. And folk music, country music. There's lots of different vehicles to hear that kind of music in Australia, which I think is a great thing. I love diversity. And diversity breeds change within us and can actually improve our society as a whole.
All right. Now, I would like to twist this discussion to another half. What do you think, in order to become a good director or a good cameraman or a good production man, what basic understandings and what basic things do our students they need to know?
To be good at anything, you need to be well educated to begin with. Now, you can self-educate, that's fine, but what you will get with a more formalised education is better levels of skills to begin with that you can build upon. You know, there are certainly filmmakers, for example, out there that just do everything themselves and just learn on the fly and produce great pieces of art. Not everyone's like that. Most people will need some formalised education. So I would say that formal education is a great starting point, right? But what you've got to do is find what is commonly known as your own creative voice. And that voice means that you need to tell the stories that are important to you. It's no use thinking that you can go out and make a blockbuster sci-fi epic film if you're not even interested in that genre. You've got to find the things that interest you. Now, it doesn't matter what role you play within that industry, whether it's music, whether it's camera work. You know, you've got to be passionate about the work, and you've got to do it at a level that continues to improve and improve and improve. I think the greatest filmmakers are all people who actually continually improve their craft. They know that they haven't finished their journey continues, and the next film gives them something additional that they didn't have before. If we stop seeking that improvement, we stop seeking to improve the films and the quality of the films that we make. So regardless of that position, I think you start with some formal education, find what it is you're passionate about, and find the vehicles that allow you to actually extract that passion into your work. You'll find that you have greater job satisfaction when you do that, but also you will actually generate better income because people will appreciate that far more. People will see it, audiences see passion in projects.
It will attract a certain chunk of people who have the same interest as you have.
Certainly.
Yeah, so you can attract more audience from the same genre that you are basically interested in, and you then become a pro in that.
Absolutely, and they add value to your knowledge back. You know, I think one thing that you have to do is, and you know, mentioned director before, it can be very difficult to be a great director because you have to be on top of all the different departments within the film because they're adding the value that you require. But you have to allow those people to do their jobs. You can't micromanage it, otherwise you'll never get your job finished. So you have to place trust in your fellow filmmakers. And when fellow filmmakers have the same passion as you and the same desire to provide quality product, you will get a better product in the end. And they're the types of people that you need to find, and that's why you should be interviewing crew members, not just hiring someone who's got a CV. You need to talk to individuals to make sure that every individual is going to add value to the product that you need as a director and obviously as a producer.
All right, so I would like you to talk about this thing that our young people who are seeking, who are expecting that they can go into this profession of filmmaking. What do you think? Watching too many movies, you're watching too many masterpieces by legends, can that contribute to their perceiving capacity and their creative instincts and things like that?
It certainly can. I think you can always learn. There's always something to be learned. You can learn things from bad movies just as well as you can learn things from good movies, because you can learn the things that don't work in bad movies to ensure that you're not implementing those bad habits when you create the film. And that's just as important as learning the good things. But I think I don't think that you should sort of start off in the industry expecting that you're going to create some masterpiece. And yes, we want to aim for that, but to expect that result is unrealistic. What you have to do when you are starting out as a filmmaker is tell simple stories extremely well. Now, if you can do that, you will get hired again and again and again and again and again. So don't try to make something too flashy. Focus on the simple things. If you do them with a level of excellence, that is what's going to get you employed.
Right. So I would like to tell my audience that FIPA Pakistan is getting an opportunity that since Mr. Keiran is here for a short period of time, we are going to have a 10 days workshop session for our young filmmakers. Because I got this opportunity, I would like to get my young students, get my people trained from a professional like him in Pakistan. So I think it's a great opportunity. It's going to be a great opportunity for our young people to learn from a person like you. So what do you expect? Since I'm sure that we are going to have a lot of inquiries, we are going to have a lot of people interested in learning from you some basics and some your own style of filmmaking it, producing commercials and advertisements and everything. What do you expect from the students who are joining your session at FIPA Pakistan?
Well, I am very passionate about passing the knowledge and skills that I have on to others. And it's always far easier when the students come with the same level of passion that I have.
Right.
Because we share something intrinsic. We may not even share a language, but we share a desire to do something on the same level, at that level of professionalism.
Right. So passion is the first thing that you expect.
I won't expect it. I won't say expect it. I'd love to see it.
All right.
Because, people who are excited to learn are the people it's easier to teach.
Right.
So if you're excited about this industry like I am, come along, because I can work with you and help you improve your own banker skills and lead to something more. But I think what the biggest expectation that I have is that if you come to the workshop and learn some new skills or add or upgrade the skills that you've already got, is that I'd love to see you go out and use them and use the skills that you've learned and
Produce something.
and film something and then show it back to me. I'd be very happy to provide any feedback to any product that any students produce in that respect.
And not only students, the amateur professionals who are not pursuing filmmaking as in an academic level, but the ones who are already working in field, your workshop would be equally beneficial to them as well.
It certainly can, because first and foremost, I'm here to answer questions. So whatever level of student or whatever level of learner that comes in, I am happy to try and improve the banker skills that I have. At the same time, I'm probably going to learn from them. I'm always learning every day. So, I enjoy that part of it as well. So it doesn't matter what level you are. Even if you're working in the industry, I might give you one piece of advice that is going to help you advance your career and your quality of product to the next level. That is what I'm here for. If I can't do that, I'll apologise. But that is my aim. My aim is to make you better today than what you were yesterday. And if you feel like I could actually add some value, small or large, I'm here to do that for you.
All right, Keiran, at the end, I would like to mention the one common passion between Australia and Pakistan is cricket.
Is it?
Are you interested in cricket?
Very much so. I'm a very big cricket fan.
All right. So we have a lot of Australian team fans here in Pakistan, and whenever there's a match between Australia and Pakistan, so it's an exciting thing. We are getting audience from the two continents on the same page. Keiran, what do you think about Pakistani cinema? Have you ever seen anything from Pakistani cinema?
Unfortunately, we don't have the opportunity to get to see a lot of Pakistani cinema in Australia. It's just that our market is smaller, and so it's harder to get that product into Australia and on screens where we can see it. Now, I have seen some, and I've got some friends, obviously, that are Pakistani, and they can feed me that stuff to actually watch, right? So it's great that I can do that. And recently, I even watched a Pakistani series on a local TV channel in Australia.
Which one?
Well, it's called Chirails, I think, and I'm told that it wasn't actually shown in Pakistan. So, but it's always interesting to see what the quality and the type of product that is coming out of cinema worldwide. I am very interested in how the Pakistani cinema industry is actually changing. I think that you're probably on the cusp of a rather big change. I don't know a lot about Pakistani cinema, but I know that it used to be based in Lahore, and was making great product here before it suddenly disappeared. And then it moved to Karachi and it's coming back. But, you know, I'm in Lahore, so I can't look to
That's quite insightful, I must say. And you know that our cinema has shifted from Lahore to Karachi.
Yes, but, you know, Lahore has something to offer, and it's something different to what Karachi has to offer.
Yes.
So I'd love to see, you know, cinema in Lahore actually take a nice leap and get back to the centerpiece that it used to be of Pakistani cinema.
All right. So I expect that young movie makers, young filmmakers, when they come across with you and they learn good things from you, and we can expect that they can produce some good things on their part. Ken, I would like to thank you for sparing your precious time for FIPA Pakistan, and that now we are in a settlement of having you as our trainer, as our instructor for our young filmmakers here. And I wish you very best of luck. We will try to become good hosts for you.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate the opportunity to address your students and all your cinema makers.
Thank you.